One of my favorite franchises and characters in cinema is James Bond, 007, License to Kill. I've been a fan as far back as I can remember. Actually, I can tell you today where I first started, and this is where this review comes from. I went back to see the very first James Bond film I ever saw, and this one was 1979's Moonraker. My mom brought me to the theater. Yep, you heard me right. My mommy brought me to the theater. She had a crush on Roger Moore from his TV show called The Saint. And, you know, she'd seen The Spy Who Loved Me, which kind of was the film that cemented him with the fan base that he is Bond now. As much as we want Sean Connery to forever be Bond, that wasn't the case. And he had an uphill battle. He was a different take on it. He's a more refined kind of Bond. Very different portrayal of the character than Sean Connery's. So he had an uphill climb. But The Spy Who Loved Me, I think, was the film that brought everybody together and say, yeah, he's Bond for us now. We can take it. So at the end of that movie, they kind of say he's coming back again for the movie For Your Eyes Only. Good or bad, there's a little film that came out in 1977 called Star Wars that kind of blew everything out of the water. So the producers kind of said, let's grab this sci-fi genre, apply it to Bond, and expand the franchise. And in a sense, it did. It was for that time, it was an expensive film, $34 million, but its box office take was a little over $210 million. So financially, it paid off. Over the years, the critiques have not been kind to this film, calling it one of the worst in the series. And it's because, you know, Bond in space doesn't seem like a right choice to do. But after watching it last night, I had fun with it. Maybe it was nostalgia, I'm not sure. The thing I noticed was the beginning of the film is really great. I don't know why. There's some great locations, there's great chases, like the part where he dives out of the plane, James Bond, and grabs the parachute off the other guy. It's a great action sequence. There's a few in here. The score is great as well. People have a problem with him going in space. And they say it kind of drifts off from where the character's supposed to be. And I get it. It's a very grounded character. But in The Spy Who Loved Me, you had Atlantis, an underwater city. And nobody seemed to, that's cool, it's all right, that's normal. We again have an suddenly there's a space station and everybody's like going nuts. So yesterday I kind of let it go and said, you know what? It's a fun ride. Yes, now it looks a little dated. If you watch it on your 4K TV, you see the limitations of the special effects. And that's okay. That's okay. That's part of the magic. Now you know you're actually watching, it's a movie. A couple of plot holes that don't make sense, you know, like especially when Bond is in the plane and the guy comes out with the parachute and shoots the controls. You just could have shot Bond and the mission would have been done, you know, like, I don't know. But that's me over-analyzing the film. Besides that, I had fun with it. And if you look at it, Stromberg's underwater city in The Spy Who Loved Me, he was going to create a new civilization underwater. And we're okay with that. But now that Hugo Drax has a space station and wants to create the master race up there and destroy the human race on Earth, everybody goes, this is just too far-fetched. Water, space. It was the same story repeated. But I don't know, for some reason, Moonraker has a hard time. So yesterday night I watched it. I loved it again. It is a little long. It's over 2 hours. I think it's 10 minutes too long. At one point it's like, okay, get this over with. But I'm going to have to say Desmond Llewellyn, if I'm saying his name right, who plays Q. The ending when they got they see Bond and Holly Goodhead, Professor Goodhead, things you can't do anymore in cinema. We can't do that anymore, but that was 79. When they're making love in space in zero gravity, and they go, oh my God, what's Bond doing? And then Q goes, I think he's attempting re-entry, sir. I laughed my head off on this. So all in all, I'm going to say Yeah, it's not the best James Bond film. I'm not saying that at all. But as pure escapism, it's a fun ride. And I know people, again, had a hard time with, he's created a space station. He wants to create a human race. That's so far off the realms for James Bond. Stromberg makes an underwater Atlantis to do the same thing, and nobody has any problem with it. So, like I said, it's the same story, just different location. It's the exact same story. And maybe, yeah, it could be a little much with the lasers, but that was it. Every film was trying to capitalize on Star Wars, and why not? It worked. It made its money back and more. It was the highest grossing film till GoldenEye, with Pierce Brosnan. So it worked. It paid off. And like I said yesterday, I enjoyed it for what it was. It's pure escapism. You know what I mean? People can get into the Fast and Furious, which is beyond unbelievable. Why are you giving this one a hard time? He's been everywhere around the world. Where else has he got to go? Put him in space one time. Why not? So I had a good time. And again, maybe it is nostalgia. Maybe it's just me wanting to relive the time with my mom, going to the theater. But I had a good time with it. I think it's a little bit of an underrated gem in the James Bond series. It deserves a little bit more love. I'm not saying it's nowhere near a masterpiece like Thunderball or Skyfall or anything like that, but it's fun. And I think sometimes a fun James Bond film is nothing bad. But that's me. You let me know. Did you like this movie? You hate this movie? Love to hear from you. If you can, it would mean a lot if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is me with my recapping or reviewing or re-reviewing of Moonraker. See you soon, guys.